Good evening and welcome to the Big Z Sports Extra Point Show, showcasing the Indian Valley Braves, powered by Keim Home Center. Now let's head to the Hartzler's Quality Housing mobile studio at the Olde Towne Tavern in Tusky with Big Z Sports.
It is the Extra Point Show with Big Z Sports, brought to you by the Keim Home Center, and we are live from the Olde Towne Tavern here in Tusky, featuring the Indian Valley Braves. Nick McWilliams, Shannon Thomas over there on the end. We're going to talk all things Braves football coming up in a little bit, but we start off talking a little Braves athletics. And as you can see, there is a third person up here, and it's somebody that I know Indian Valley faithful are very familiar with now. It's Athletic Director Zach Golick. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's a pleasure to be here, and as always, we appreciate everything you do for our student athletes.
Now, I know that it was easy to get the players to come down here because the promise of free food is always a good thing, but we were very thankful we could have this real close to home, and you guys got a great crowd to come out here and support. I know that's not shocking for you. You see the great crowds that come in every single sporting event.
Yeah, absolutely. Braves Nation always comes out, in full swing and ready to support, and yeah, it doesn't surprise me that there's people here ready to see this.
Yeah, and speaking of crowds, you had a pretty good crowd last night for the volleyball team. Had their first tournament game and was able to get a win.
Yeah, absolutely. That was big for our volleyball team. Heading into tournament time, you like to get on a roll, and you like to build that momentum. And to get a 3-set victory there over John Glenn was big for us. We played well, and it was a good night.
It's always an interesting time of the year. This is what we're kind of asking all the ADs that we've gotten in on these. Football season is nearing the end of the regular season, and the teams that are fortunate enough moving on into the postseason, which you guys very much well on your way for that. But there's a whole lot going on behind the scenes, too, because it's all systems go to get basketball ready, wrestling ready. I mean, there's never really any off time, is there?
No, there's not as an AD, but that's the beauty of it, you know what I mean? And I always like to say, being a servant leader for the whole athletic department, for the whole community, that's what we sign up to do, and that's what I enjoy doing. And it's just, the winter time coming up, we have the schedule set. Now it's getting your workers, your clock operators, your ticket takers, all that set in place. But at the same time, enjoying and dwelling on the seasons that you're still currently in. So it's unique, but it's fun.
Yeah, and one thing about Indian Valley, as the athletic director, you work with the Booster Club, and you see all the people who volunteer, and you guys just had a pretty big event there. I think it was about a week ago or so. You had the cross-country invitational down there. You had quite a few schools come this year. I think it was the second annual invitational, and how'd that go for them?
Yeah, it was the second one, and you mentioned the Booster Club, and they do a phenomenal job. Steve and Michelle Carlisle and everybody else involved with the Booster Club do a phenomenal job and volunteer their time, and we get people to volunteer in concessions and things like that. But like you alluded to the cross-country invitational, we had 15 teams this year, and that grew from the 11 that we had the year before. So it was a great event, a great day, and it was fun to be a part of that.
Now, I know coaches for each individual sport are super excited whenever we talk about all-league names, the ones who make the all-league teams, all IVC. For you guys, for cross-country, Joe Carlisle getting the boys all IVC.
Yeah.
For you as an AD, give me that perspective when you've got student-athletes who are achieving that high of a recognition.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's Joe Carlisle, IVC champ. We had Nolan Pataka, Max Kinsey, other guys perform well. Jillian Welch on the girls' side, just to name a few. I know I'm leaving some out, but, it's awesome to see multiple sports and multiple student athletes being successful in Indian Valley, and it's a product of the community. It's a product of our Board of Education, our administration, our teachers, our parents. It's just an entire tight-knit community that really revolves around, our student athletes.
Yeah, and now they've already pretty much been confirmed that you will have a home football game. So now you got to get volunteers to do that. You're going to have people to help parking and stuff. And it's always nice to be able to pick up that phone and call somebody, and everybody just shows up.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's like I alluded to before. That's a wonderful thing about Indian Valley. We use our winter sports coaches, our spring sports coaches. Everybody's willing to chip in, in their off season to help out with those type of things. And like you said, it's a phone call away, and everybody's willing to help, and it's an amazing thing.
Now, I know we already interviewed you before and asked you about when you were first coming in, give us the backstory. Who is Mr. Golick, all those kind of things. But there were some other parts that I didn't get to ask. Case in point, you being an athletic director, you deal with all the sports from Indian Valley and interact with other ADs and all that good fun stuff. But Outside of that, do you enjoy any other sports to watch? College, professional, things like that?
Yeah, I'm an avid college football fan. I would rather watch a college game than an NFL game any day, to be honest with you. But I'm a big Ohio State fan. Let down this past weekend, But I love college football. I like watching the NFL too. But I'm a big football fan. Actually, I have a basketball background. I actually played basketball in college, and then I ended up being a football guy, so it's a really unique thing. So.
And if I remember right, didn't I see you on the basketball court last year with the little dribblers, or maybe the year before? Was you helping out with that, or?
I wasn't helping out with the little dribblers. I mean, I've helped out with you stuff, but I wasn't out there for little dribblers.
The reason I ask that is, at what point does, some people might say, oh, it might be just too much sports all the time, but I feel like with the profession that you have, it's the opposite, right? You can almost never get enough, it feels like.
You can't get enough at all. And like I said, I'm blessed to be at a place like this. We had, Joe Carlisle, IVC champ. We had Deegan Bieber make it to state for golf. He took 26 out of 72 golfers in some wet and rainy conditions. I was there Monday at Akron Firestone. It was an awesome day. We had a girl, Aubrey Elliott, get a hole-in-one in golf this year. Volleyball won their first tournament game. Football's doing what they're doing. It's just, it's an awesome thing to be a part of.
Now as an athletic director, when is your downtime? Like where you get to sit back for like 2 weeks and say, all right, everything's under control, and then all of a sudden you're back into it again? I kind of got a feeling that this football season is ending. I mean, I feel an athletic director is just full go because now they're getting into the winter stuff, but also got to start looking forward to the spring stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And would I be the first guy to say never? There's never that too.
Believe it or not, that's a common answer.
Okay, I was going to say that.
I'm waiting for somebody to say, oh, yeah, we get all kinds of time.
Well, and obviously we're blessed here with this football team. Hopefully make a deep run, so we're hoping to merge that fall season right into the winter season. But, yeah, absolutely. Once you get into the winter, then you're starting to think about spring stuff, and you try to schedule things a year and two out. That way, schedule-wise, you're working towards the future. But still, yeah, there's not a lot of downtime in this profession.
Now, something that we have asked some other ADs are maybe upcoming projects and stuff that are ongoing. We already know with Indian Valley, you guys have a fantastic new football stadium and some really nice playing surfaces. Baseball's got the turf infield and such. And one of the most awesome gyms to go to for a high school football game around as well. You guys really kind of seem on the ball with that. I know there's always new stuff in the talks, though.
Yeah, I mean, and there's always, things that need adjusted, updated, and things like that. As far as facilities are concerned, there's no big projects going on right now. One of the things that I've focused on coming in as my first year as athletic director is alumni relations. I've created an alumni database, and I've gotten that out to Indian Valley Athletic alum, and I'm trying to keep them in the loop and get them involved with more things with Indian Valley Athletics.
Yeah, and there's also been a bunch of updates to the softball field and stuff, and one of the biggest updates people don't realize that got done down there the last couple of years was the parking lot got paved out back. I mean, that's a big overtaking for a school district and stuff, and it's always great to have the community to be able to step up and donate funds, donate their time and stuff. So, I mean, it's just a blessing for the school district.
Absolutely. I told, our parents and our students in our fall sports parents meeting, the OHSA parent meeting, I said, hey, you guys are blessed. You're lucky to have what you have. Look out at that field house. Look at this gym we're sitting in. All the things we have. We're extremely lucky to have what we have. And it's, once again, I just can't go on and on about what a great place it is to be.
All right, well, the last thing I have for you, I'm going to bring it back to one point that you made or one thing that we brought up. National champion this year? Who's got it in college football then?
I mean, I would like to say my Buckeyes until last weekend, but I truly think that this year it's kind of wide open, especially with the expanded playoff. Mm-hmm. I think anybody could have a shot, but I never root against my Buckeyes, so I'll stick with that one.
Yeah. He had the right answer. He didn't say Notre Dame, so we're all good there.
And I agree with you. With the expansion of the playoff system now, there's that room for upsets before where it was just semifinal games and then the championships. Now that expanded thing that opens it wide open, or wide up.
Certainly does. Well, athletic director Zach Golick for the Indian Valley Braves, thank you so much for your time. As always good to hear from you, and go enjoy some of that great food.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm excited to dig into that, and once again, I appreciate all the coverage you guys give to our student athletes and everything you guys do. So thank you.
Stick around. We've got plenty more of the Extra Point Show built by the Keim Home Center upcoming. It's head coach Matt Lancaster for the Braves right after this.
Olde Towne Tavern in Tuskegee offers you a menu full of choices, all cooked in their wood stone brick oven over an open flame, which provides layers of flavor to each dish served. Taste the difference with the pizza, sandwich, brick oven pasta, and the popular choices of steak or chicken. Olde Towne Tavern is open Wednesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. To see all Olde Towne Tavern has to offer, find them on Facebook.
In the rolling hills of Holmes County, we tend to do things a bit differently. At Keim, we're in the business of uncommon experiences, and we're here to care for your project like we care for our own. We believe that quality matters and want to help you get it right the first time, because your project deserves it. So visit Keim Home Center, your source and destination for all things home, building, and woodworking. Keim, built on trust since 1911.
Big Z Sports is live from the Olde Towne Tavern in Tuskegee. It is the Keim Home Center Extra Point Show featuring the Indian Valley Braves, and we now welcome in head coach Matt Lancaster for those Braves. Coach, thank you so much for your time coming down here. I know you always love stopping at Olde Towne as well to get a good bite to eat.
Oh, when it's not football season, my wife and I are here once a week religiously. So football season is not quite as often, but great food, great people. The Douglas family does a great job and a great establishment.
Yeah, Dale Douglas and his family have built a nice place down here, and they not only do they serve food, but they serve their community. They do a lot for Tuskegee Days, and they do a lot for Indian Valley School District. So it's nice to have a business like that back to the community.
Absolutely.
Now, Coach, a very successful season so far for Indian Valley, and I think a lot of people coming in, they expected some big things out of you guys, just for the guys that you had coming back from last year's squad and after last year's finish. Tell me a little bit about, how you would grade the team's performance thus far. Do you think they've met some of those expectations you guys had for them coming into the season?
Yeah, I think so. That's some of the hardest years to be the coach and to be the experienced players, when you have high expectations. Sometimes at the high school level, it's hard to live up to. Everybody expects a lot, and to actually live up to it is a hard thing to do. So their grade for doing well in big games and living up to that so far, I'd give them an A. As far as overall team, we've got some work to do still, but we've come a long way with developing depth, and we play a lot of young guys. We do have the veterans like Jackson Bircher and Grady Kenzie and Hunter Peterman, the guys that are here tonight, but our quarterback's a sophomore. We start about 6 sophomores on offense and defense, so getting those guys come along, and they have come along. So, we just got to keep it going.
I know that you want everything to be performing as well as it possibly can at any point during the season, but isn't that kind of a bright side too, though, whenever you have those learning moments to kind of build that depth, especially as the season rolls on?
Yeah, definitely, and it's even nicer whenever you get to build that depth and have learning moments and still win. The last couple years, we've had those learning moments in losses where we start to learn who we are and what we need to fix and what we need to improve upon, and then we've peaked at the right time when it gets to the playoff time. And we play a tough schedule, against a lot of good football teams, and they reveal your weaknesses, and they show you what you need to work on and what you need to develop, and to be able to win still in the process, is a credit to our kids.
Yeah, Coach, and the key is you build depth. And, I started following your program for Big Z Sports clear back to, I believe Cade Williams might have been a sophomore. And every class you've had has been a good class, so these younger kids have pressure on them. But what's it say for your coaching staff and for your senior leaders like Jackson Bircher, who have helped those younger kids grow and be ready when it's their time?
It's huge. My coaching staff is so important to our team and to our community. Guys have been around with me for 20 years now, and if they haven't, then they either played for me, come up through the program, but they're just good, dedicated, loyal guys that know the sport and know how to coach kids and how to build relationships with kids, and they're great men as role models beyond that. But having good leaders like Jackson, and Grady and Hunter and Owen and all our captains, we've had some injuries throughout the year, as every football team does, and those guys aren't just standing on sidelines. They're getting the next guy ready. Jackson Bircher, knee was a little banged up this week. He's out there with Kellen Coates, our sophomore tight end, every play, telling them where to go, what to do, and little coaching points. And all our kids have done that. And developing depth is so important. Getting those guys quality reps, not just reps in practice on scout team, but getting them quality reps in games has been important.
Now, to that point of that coaching staff that you said have been with you for such a long time, it is not uncommon that you'll see coaching staffs that's just kind of their job, right? They'll show up and might communicate on, well, what do you think about this play, or what do you think if this is the scheme that we're going to go with? For you guys, it really seems like it is that tight-knit group who, just text you out of the blue, just ask how you're doing, or hey, you want to go get something to eat or something like that. Is that how it works?
Yeah, we're in constant communication. We've watched our kids grow up together. It's a family. The guys on my staff are some of my best friends in the world. And when you have that relationship, it's real, it's true, and it's not something you just come to work and you got to get through the next 2.5 hours with this guy. You enjoy yourself and you enjoy the camaraderie and the fun. We joke around with each other. Our coaches group chat is, our text message is ongoing every single day, and we're typical guys and typical football coaches. We get on each other a lot, but it's fun. It's fun.
Coach, and one thing I noticed about your program all those years, having the luxury of being on your sideline, your first job as a football coach is you guys want to raise, young men. You want these young men to be able to be successful in life. And then if you make them a football player, that's even better yet. So, so much respect for how you help these young kids become men and function in this society.
Well, I appreciate that. That's the reason that I got into this was to, build good quality men who are going to be successful in life and have those relationships. And my coaches are all the same as me in that. And we care about these guys. We love them, every group that comes through. And we want them to be successful beyond this. We're not going to have many go on to play college football, but they are going to go on to become fathers and husbands and employees and business owners and things like that. And they do a good job, our kids, of representing our community off the field. And we're just as proud as that as what they do on the field.
Now, I was giving him a hard time when he got here, but I'm going to ask you about it because it wasn't just him by any means. There were some other instances of this. Hunter Peterman last week against Ridgewood, he was living in the backfield, having a hard time kind of tackling Grant Lammers, though. Yeah. Now, what do you guys talk about in those kind of situations where they're doing their jobs correctly, maybe just didn't quite get the end result that you guys wanted? Now, how do you handle that as a coach? Does it look at as a positive, or do you focus more on where you can improve?
Finish. We preach that a lot, and our kids know that. We're brutally honest with our kids in films. And with coaches too. Mm-hmm. We're brutally honest with each other, and honesty is important in becoming, a better player, better, at everything. Is you got to be able to accept the criticism, and so our kids do a great job, and our coaches do a great job of checking their egos at the door. That's our motto when you go into the film room on a Saturday morning. I don't care if you're Grady Kinsey, if you're Jackson Bircher, or if you're a sophomore fighting for depth. You're going to get coached up, and we're going to be honest with you. We love you, but it's going to be honest. And, Hunter Peterman, great job on your slant, getting in the backfield. Now finish the tackle, finish the play. And our kids respond to that. They accept that. And they know they want us to be hard on them. They want us to, expect more.
Coach, we'll stick with Hunter Peterman. We'll stick with that offensive line. It's got to be one of the smallest offensive lines that you've ever had at Indian Valley football. But it's
besides Big Dave.
Yeah,
Big Dave, but
yeah, Dave Stryker, who I was joking around as a year or two ago, said if Dave Stryker wanted to be a good football player, he's going to have to get a mean streak because he's like Winnie the Pooh. He's this big kid, but he's so nice. Yeah. But your offensive line has grown this year, and with injuries, and they've battled through adversity, and that's got to be a great feeling, as a coach.
It is, and we knew they're a veteran group, 4 out of 6 back from last year, and they're not that big. Hunter, our center, is not very big. The 2 guards next to him, with his brother Titan and Brogan O'Connor, 175, 180 pounds. At best, but they're athletic, and we've learned to use that athleticism over the years. And Coach Pete does a great job with our offensive line, and those guys, you get everything out of how big they are. And Brogan Wilson, as a sophomore, is doing a good job coming along, and he does have some size. We think he's going to be pretty good. And Dave Stryker, he's nice off the football field, but he's going to come after you at tackle. So, and Jackson, I'm telling you, Jackson, the tight end, he's a different type of player that we've never had before, and I don't know that we'll ever have again with what we can do with him on both sides of the ball. But as a tight end that can also play fullback, that can also be a receiving threat, is a dynamic type of athlete that we haven't really had before.
Now, you talk about his dynamic ability, and it's kind of funny because it's not one team. We've heard from multiple teams this year, whenever Jackson comes out on the field, they say, well, he'd be playing guard for us for the size that he is. So, I mean, that has to be a luxury, too, knowing you can trust that blocking.
Yeah, because he's physical. He's as physical as they come. And he can be a receiving threat as well, and he's going to block on a different, a lot of different ways, with a double team, with a trap pull, with a kick out. And Grady will be the first to give him and the offensive line a lot of the credit for what he's been able to do, because a lot of times Grady isn't touched for the first 5 yards, and that's due to those guys up front and Jackson, and you got to honor Jackson's pass catching ability too, from the tight end position, and when we widen them out. So he's a nice player.
Now, I know you guys have definitely seen, I know the athletes for sure have seen it, but, the numbers whenever it comes to Grady, just an unbelievable season thus far. I know he has always been the one to give that credit to the offensive line, but when we're talking things, max preps and that, picking up on how great of a season he's having, is it ever almost a surreal moment considering where he's come and where he is right now as a football player as a junior?
Yeah, it is. We'll see things. Outside people will send me something, this stat or that stat, and I'm like, well, that's pretty crazy. When you're talking about not just the state but the nation, it is a little bit surreal. But he's such a great kid. He's always humble, always down to earth. He's great with all our students in our school. He does not put himself up on a pedestal whatsoever. He's the same kid he's always been. He just works so hard, and I'm happy for all the all the accolades that he's been getting along the way, because he definitely deserves it.
Yeah, Coach, and I'll get text messages because a lot of people know how close I was with the program the last few years, and everybody's asking me what's different about Grady Kinsey, and I always tell them, if you want to see what a weight room will do for a kid, that's your kid, because he works out with he don't miss any workouts with the team. Nope. Then he goes home and works out on his own. I mean, he has put in the work, and this is what extra work does.
Yeah, and religiously, he does those little things. It's hard to get teenagers to do. He monitors his sleep. He has to have this many hours of sleep per night. He stays on the same schedule. What he puts into his body, as far as food and things like that, he's very careful about. He knows it all comes down to, it all affects the overall athlete, and he's put in the commitment and the discipline, to be that good. So, he's a special player, and I've been saying all year, I'm just glad he's on our team, because he does a lot of exceptional things on the football field.
Well, we know all the players getting fueled up now from Olde Towne Tavern. I'm sure that they'll be logging that all away, and they're saying, no, Coach, I only had one slice of pizza, I promise.
Well, they can eat whatever they want right now.
So, Coach, my last question for you. The weather's changed, getting a little bit of rain coming in. How's Coach Pete been handling it? Is he all right?
We rip him all the time, because he preaches. He's one of the toughest guys you'll ever see until there's a couple drops of rain, and all of a sudden he turns into a big baby. But he's handling it all right. It just makes us tired after practice when it's cold out. You go home and you get the heat hits you, and then it's like, oh my gosh, that's a little bit different. But I like it, because that's really when you feel like football season, when it starts to get a little bit chilly out. And our kids are starting to wear sweatshirts at practice, and hopefully we're wearing them for a long time.
Yeah, no kidding, Coach. Well, we look forward to following Indian Valley throughout the rest of the regular season and, of course, into the postseason as well. One final thing from that coaching staff, don't listen to anything Brandon tells you, okay? You can let him know that I told you that.
Yep, I will.
It is head coach Matt Lancaster for the Indian Valley Braves on the Keim Home Center Extra Point Show from here at the Olde Towne Tavern. Stick around. We've got some of those Indian Valley athletes that you've probably already heard their names from. Now we're going to get to know them a little bit better. Stay tuned on the Big Z Sports YouTube channel.
Olde Towne Tavern in Tusky offers you a menu full of choices, all cooked in their wood stone brick oven over an open flame, which provides layers of flavor to each dish served. Taste the difference with the pizza, sandwich, brick oven pasta, and the popular choices of steak or chicken. Olde Towne Tavern is open Wednesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. To see all Olde Towne Tavern has to offer, find them on Facebook.
In the rolling hills of Holmes County, we tend to do things a bit differently. At Keim, we're in the business of uncommon experiences, and we're here to care for your project like we care for our own. We believe that quality matters and want to help you get it right the first time, because your project deserves it. So visit Keim Home Center, your source and destination for all things home, building, and woodworking. Keim, built on trust since 1911.
Welcome back into the Olde Towne Tavern and the Keim Home Center Extra Point Show, as we will now welcome in some of the familiar faces for the Indian Valley Braves. We have lineman Hunter Peterman and running back Grady Kinsey, although I should say running back, linebacker, and offensive, defensive line, whatever, you know, that you get the point. Guys, thanks for coming down, and have you enjoyed the food so far?
Loved it. It's been amazing. Yes, the wings were very good, the pizza was great, and the people here are great. They're just so nice, and they serve us very well.
Now, guys, I know for both of you, Indian Valley's had a lot of success over the past however many years it is now. Is there a certain expectation you guys have that, you have to live up to, it feels like?
Yeah, I'd say there's some expectation we put on ourselves. We just want to get better every week. We want to play our best and make it as far as we possibly can.
And I think a obvious expectation we always have is to win the IVC, and past few years we haven't been able to do that, but I think we're standing pretty good this year. We have a good team, we have a good group of kids, and also always the playoff run's always special, so that's something we always look forward to and we take pride in.
Yeah, we don't ever ask ins about games coming up, but we will ask ins about these past couple weeks. I mean, it had to be exciting to be able to get those two big wins against an IVC rivals like Garraway and Ridgewood.
Mm-hmm. That was huge. I was really proud of how we came out and we faced the adversity versus Garraway. We came out and we kept battling. We were able to pull away. That was huge for our kids.
Yeah, I think those two games are very special. Playing Garraway, their defense, the past few years, they're just 5 years, they've just been great. And their scheme's just so hard to block. They got guys that slant super hard. They just got a bunch of guys that play hard. And they also, Ridgewood, they got Coach Slesser. I know what you say about Coach Slesser. He's got 14 points on the board before you even play him. I think he's just a great coach, and they got great kids that play really hard. And those are always going to be two tough games for us. And it's great that we play in a league that, consistently has great teams like that.
You do know that Coach Slesser said that he needed somebody to kidnap you for that week. That way he had a chance.
Yeah, I was trying to lay low for that week. I knew he'd be out for me, and I didn't want to be out for my team.
Well, guys, we definitely know what the end goal is this season. Pick up 2 more wins in the regular season, head to the postseason, like you mentioned. So now we get to the fun part of it, where we get to ask you non-football related questions. So I'm sure you're both looking forward to this so much. Any favorite subjects in school that you have? Weightlifting doesn't count, Grady. You can't say that. No.
I'd say probably my favorite subject right now. I take a government class. Me and Owen Faulkner, fellow captain, we're in a government class together with Mr. McMillan. We tend to solve some of the world's problems in there. We have some fruitful conversations.
Owen's not even on camera. He's red-faced right now.
Yeah, you just heard me mention it. And also, I appreciate how it's kind of a step up from Coach Lank's American history class from last year. I'm not sure if you heard me there.
Oh, he did. I saw the eyes come up off the plate.
Now, Hunter, what's your favorite subject?
Oh, now Coach Lang's heard
Hey,
it.
before you flip out, but my favorite subject, 10th grade history. No greater subject ever. I learned so much valuable knowledge, and I was always up to date with the CNN 10s, and it was a great experience.
Hunter's just piling on the brownie points now is what's happening. All right, so outside of favorite subject, least favorite subject. I know that might be a difficult one.
Let me think for a second.
What they're thinking of right now, guys, is
I
what
got
teachers they not want to make mad.
Oh, I got it. I got to go with my 5th grade ELA with my dad. I'm just playing. That was a really good class, but I can't think of any I didn't like, but...
That's a fair answer.
Yeah, I can't think of any I wasn't that.
I'm going to have to go with the class I have this year. It's AP Calc I take with Mr. McConnell. It's a hard class, but, I try to work hard in it, but part that really gets me is just my brother Max is in it with me, and he just tends to outshine me on every single test. And just, I know he's a smart guy, but it kind of brings out the competitive side in me whenever he's, just outperform me week in and week out.
Grady, I had to go through that class too. Don't feel bad. It's not. It's not
it's
a
a
lot
tough
of fun.
one. It's a tough one.
All right, so since we're on this subject, we might as well stay with the classrooms. Who's that one teacher that you had? It can go all the way back to kindergarten or somebody you have now. Who's that one teacher that you always get excited to see in the hallway, or that you can always talk to?
It was definitely Coach Lang. I'd go down the hallways and he'd be like, just excited for the game, and we'd always talk about football and then not talk about history very often. But it was always pretty exciting to see him in the hallways.
I'm going to have to go with my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Lee. I know Colton has a close relationship with her, too. She's just one of the greatest women I've ever been around, and she just really cares about the kids' development, and she's always kept in touch with me. She'll text me before and after every single game telling me, good luck, don't get hurt, all that. So I really just appreciate her and everything she does for kids like me and Colton.
Yeah, and she's really the reason why I asked this question, because I wanted to see if you would say that, because I always see Mrs. Lee like on Big Z sports stuff when it's about Grady, and if it's not about anybody else, she's not on there.
Yeah, she'd be disappointed if I didn't say her. Trust me.
Outside of football, other sports for you guys?
I run track, but it's for football. Mm-hmm. I grew up playing different sports. I miss it a little bit, but I think it helps to kind of specialize in high school.
Nothing for you, Hunter? So if you, whenever it comes to professional sports, maybe even college sports, any favorite teams that you guys follow?
I like the Browns. It's tough life.
Yes, I know.
And Ohio State Buckeyes.
I used to like the Buckeyes before they decided not to recruit Grady Kinsey. So now my current favorite is just the Browns, probably.
As long as you didn't go farther north, we were okay. We're fine then.
Yeah. I'm not going to watch college anymore after they did that.
Shannon, I'll let you take over while I put that back up.
So what do you guys like to do outside of school and outside of sports? What's one thing you do?
I like to go get wings every Tuesday with my friends. Yeah. Got a football tradition going on right now.
Right now in the school, I don't have too much free time. It's a lot of just, football, get my lifts in, school. But in the summer, mostly, a lot of lifting, a lot of training in +2 in New Philly with, Caden and them guys. But also, I get into a little bit of, gardening. You could say I have a green thumb. I water flowers, stuff like that. The floriculture, it's just I do a little bit, not too much though.
So where does that come from though?
It comes from my mom gets plants and she expects me to take care of them throughout the summer.
Well, so Hunter owns his own landscape company, right?
He does, yeah.
So have you ever tried to apply for a job?
No, I don't think he's ventured into the more like flowery type stuff. I think you're mostly just mowing and weed eating, if I'm correct.
Do a little bit of garden stuff, but when I take Grady out, he just takes complete control. And I just I can't have flowers everywhere. You know what I'm saying? They seem to grow out of nowhere anytime he comes around.
Now, Hunter, for you, whenever it comes to, well, obviously, having relationships with coaches you want to have a good relationship with your coaches. Is it a little bit harder for you, though, because for obvious reasons of who's up in the booth for Indian Valley every week?
It's not too hard. I mean, it used to be a little bit of a struggle, but now we kind of got to figure it out where just my coach and then you're my dad when we're at home.
It's the switch that you flip, basically.
Yeah.
And isn't your dad one of your employees?
We won't say that.
So with your dad being the coach, what kind of adjustments was it, when Titan earned the starting spot beside you this year? I mean, yous were brothers growing up. I'm sure yous fought all the time, and now yous are on the field fighting together. It's kind of a special moment with all three of you Petermans, but, what's that challenge been like?
It's been a blessing to get to play with both of them. Well, play with Titan and have my dad coach us. For the season, I didn't know if it would work out because we fought constantly, but now I think football's kind of brought us together a little bit, and just been really good for our family, honestly.
Good.
Now, past high school, what are the future plans for you guys?
I'm thinking I might go and become a teacher.
I wonder where that came from.
Couldn't tell you. Yeah.
I hopefully plan to play college football in the future. I plan to major in either political science or something in like the finance world. So that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, as we get ready to wrap up with you guys, is there anybody that you need to say hi to, Is there somebody, anybody?
I'll say, hi, Mom. That's it.
What about Jack?
You can say hi to Jack. That's your guy.
Hunter, how about for you?
I'm Maverick.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my favorite Peterman. It's a lot of people's favorite Peterman.
Yeah, Maverick's a cool dude. Always looks.
Hi, Bobby.
One thing about Maverick Peterman, the Indian Valley Athletic Booster Club has got to keep enough nacho cheese there. I've never seen a kid eat so much nacho cheese at a football game.
All right. Well, thank you both so much, as always, for your time. And we look forward to seeing Indian Valley the rest of the year. I know you guys are very much looking forward to a deep playoff run, so we look forward to it.
Yeah.
It is Hunter Peterman and Grady Kinsey on your Extra Point show built by the Keim Home Center. Coming up, we got two more captains for the Indian Valley Braves as Jackson Bircher and Owen Faulkner are upcoming right here on the Big Z Sports YouTube channel.
Olde Towne Tavern in Tusky offers you a menu full of choices, all cooked in their wood stone brick oven over an open flame, which provides layers of flavor to each dish served. Taste the difference with the pizza, sandwich, brick oven pasta, and the popular choices of steak or chicken. Olde Towne Tavern is open Wednesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. To see all Olde Towne Tavern has to offer, find them on Facebook.
In the rolling hills of Holmes County, we tend to do things a bit differently. At Keim, we're in the business of uncommon experiences, and we're here to care for your project like we care for our own. We believe that quality matters and want to help you get it right the first time, because your project deserves it. So visit Keim Home Center, your source and destination for all things home, building, and woodworking. Keim, built on trust since 1911.
Back on the Big Z Sports YouTube channel, it is our Extra Point show built by the Keim Home Center, and now we welcome in Jackson Bircher and Owen Faulkner here from the Indian Valley Braves. Now, before we ask anything, I noticed everybody turned all of a sudden. Why? Do I want to know why that is?
Oh, they're goofballs.
Okay, that's fair enough.
They're messing around.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, for both you guys, just go ahead. I know I kind of stole the thunder from your teammates, but go through the positions that you play.
I play inside linebacker and tight end.
I play safety and wide receiver.
And also for people who don't know, that's Jackson, that's Owen. I guess we didn't do that either, Shannon.
Yeah, they'll figure it out if they just look at their numbers.
Yeah. Shannon, what do you got?
Well, my first question, I'm just going to start with this one with Jackson. I got to give him a chance. Last year we had 5 guys on the show: Tanya McComb, Quake Beatty, Cole Steve, Colton Thomas, and Sam Carter, and all of them said that Jackson doesn't take anything serious.
That's No. That's not me. They're lying.
All right,
They were lying about
It
that.
took him a whole year to get to be able to defend himself.
I know. It feels good to defend myself now.
I've always known Jackson as being serious, but I'm not behind the scenes, and they just said you weren't serious, so
No.
we had to clear the air on that one.
Now, for both you guys playing both sides of the ball, which is more fun, making a big play on offense, making a big hit on defense?
Yeah. Probably making a big hit on defense, just because I feel like it's more exciting. Touchdowns are great and all, but there's sometimes you just never get the chance to make a big hit on defense. So.
Me personally, I think making a big play or scoring a touchdown on offense is better because the coaches get on us for the coaches get on us for trying to make a big hit on defense instead of wrapping up. So.
It's spoken like a true receiver and tight end difference there, I think.
Yeah.
Shannon?
So you had 3 big wins this year. You had the one against Dover, the one against Garraway, and the one against Ridgewood. Which one was your favorite? I mean, you never had beaten – Indian Valley had never beaten Dover. You just went in and did it. And then the Garraway one, we know the last couple of years the struggle against them, and then the Ridge one. Which one of those wins right there can you say was the highlight of your personal season? Not the team's, but yours.
I think beating Dover was really like the highlight of my season, just because it was the first time in school history, and it was a really big night for the community.
In my personal opinion, I think beating Garraway was just because we know they've been a good team, and we should have. I shouldn't say we should have beat them the past few years, but I think we could have made them games so much closer than they were. So finally getting to beat them this year has been great to see our improvement over the years.
Now, looking ahead, I know you guys take it 1 week at a time,
Yeah.
but the postseason is right around the corner. Obviously, the year that you guys have had, you're well on your way for that. Is there ever any nervous anticipation for that? You guys are kind of almost used to it at this point, I would feel.
There's always that little bit of nervousness in everybody. It's some it may be their first playoff game. Some they just always get nervous before games, but there's always a little bit. But once they step out on the field, they always get it straightened out. So.
I think we have a pretty experienced team this year, just because over the last couple years we've played so many young guys. So as soon as we get out there, the nerves go away. In warm-ups, they might be nervous, but they'll settle in pretty quick.
So you got a lot of veterans back from the last 2 playoff runs that were pretty deep, but you're also in the same sense still playing a lot of young guys. So as senior leaders and captains, how much extra work goes into making sure that those kids are in the right position? You're kind of the on-the-field coaches.
I wouldn't say there's too much extra work, just because, our players, they're eager to play, so they're always paying attention at practice. But if they need help, we'll give them a little coaching or tell them, put them in the right spot.
Playing the amount of young guys we do, there's some times where it's really hard to get them to figure some stuff out, the game plan. Sometimes when it's really confusing, they get nervous about it. So you just kind of gotta make them step up in their spot and play.
Now, we'll go outside of the football talk for a little bit, for the most part. Different sports that you guys play outside of football?
I wrestle and play baseball.
I run track outside of football.
Now, do you have a favorite sport? If you had to pick between any of those, I know that's hard to do. And don't worry, Coach Lank and no one's looking right now, depending on how you answer this.
My favorite sport is track.
My favorite sport's wrestling.
I think I knew that answer was coming from both of them, truthfully.
And you're talking to 2 kids who have had multiple success in both sports. Mm-hmm. So it's got to be exciting no matter what your favorite sport is. You're into the state track meets and the playoffs in baseball and wrestling. You went to the state wrestling tournament last year and placed. I mean, the hard work that you guys put in shows.
Yeah.
Now, favorite subjects maybe in school?
Oh.
It's always this one that stumps people.
Yeah, I know.
Study hall, weightlifting, and lunch don't count. I mean, my favorite was study hall, but I've been informed by the other people that we're not allowed to count that.
My favorite subject is probably math, just because I'm really good with numbers. So.
My favorite subject is history.
History is a very popular answer.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any game day rituals you like to do? I mean, is there somewhere where you go to eat or a meal that you got to have, or just the music you play? I mean, what's your game day ritual?
I usually head over to his house before we go to the field house, get on the bus, and his mom gets us Chipotle, and we'll eat that before the game.
Yeah, he comes over, we just chill out for a little bit, get Chipotle from my mom, drink some Gatorades, and head over and get ready.
Now, outside of the other sports that you play, any hobbies that you guys like to do? Anything that you like to spend your time on?
I like to golf. I mean, I wish I could say I was good at it, but it's frustrating but fun at the same time.
I totally get that.
I agree with him. We go golfing a lot. I'm terrible, but it's fun. I go fishing a lot too, so I'd say that's one of mine.
Mm-hmm. You guys have grown up and played with a lot of past players. When you got to that high school level as a freshman or a sophomore, who was one of those players that was ahead of you that you could count on, for helping you out, giving you guidance, or just being supportive? Who's that one player that stands out in your mind?
That one player for me would have to be Colton Thomas, just because he played the same position as me, wide receiver, and he taught me a lot of stuff. Always made sure I was in the right spot.
That player for me would be Cole Lancaster. He was always a little tough on me sometimes, but he'd always pick me back up and help me out when I needed it most. So.
Now, this one I don't think we've done before. Least favorite part of practice that you guys have to go through?
Oh,
practice?
Yeah, practice.
Probably warm-ups. I think our warm-ups are the hardest thing in the world.
It gets you warm, though.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I agree. Running back and forth across the field during warm-ups is pretty hard, but it might be harder than our 40s for conditioning is, just because it's first movement of the day. It's a struggle sometimes.
All right, well, I'm asking this question because Jackson's up here, and I know he'll probably take the bait. But what is one embarrassing thing you can tell us about one of your coaches? Is there something that happened at practice or something that they do, and you just think, man, that's kind of embarrassing, Coach? Look at Jackson.
He's thinking like, I don't know if I can.
Sometimes when Coach Lancaster gets pretty upset sometimes, so he'll try to yell at one of us, and the yell just won't come out. It'll just be like a stutter kind of. It's not that embarrassing, but I always thought it was pretty funny.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
Jackson ain't got nothing. We'll have to move on.
All right.
Yeah, I know. I can't think of anything.
You got anything embarrassing you want to tell us about your dad? Because I mean, he's technically on the staff.
I mean, embarrassing. He's grabbed my face mask a few times, and it's embarrassing for me and him. So, yeah.
For you guys, any future plans maybe after high school?
I plan on going to college. So.
I also plan on going to college and running track.
Any favorite teams maybe from college or pro sports that you guys like?
I like Ohio State. It's my favorite college team. I'm not really a pro sports guy.
Mm-hmm. My favorite college is Ohio State. I watch a little bit of pro sports, but I don't get too much into it.
I was almost half expecting him to say Penn State wrestling, if I was being honest.
Well, before we let you guys go here, we got to give you the opportunity, like we do everybody. Is there anybody out there you need to